And let's get Lester to confirm that I am right. Let's get him to give his input here. He's finishing up some chores, just got back from the JL ranch as well. Babe, you told me that I could do what I want with this area as long. Hey y'all, how are you? I have been spending a little bit of time outside this afternoon as promised and committed, even though the weather is... But the reason that I've been outside is, well, I've been working, but I also wanted to talk about this area. This ugly area. That's right. I'm showing you my ugly parts today. Let's flip this around. So, this is the side of the greenhouse that we don't talk about. And why don't we talk about it? Because, well, it's ugly. It's been a parking spot to many trailers and the mini truck. And we just haven't done anything with it since we built the greenhouse. Now, spring is coming and things are going to grow here that we don't actually want to grow here. So I just assume, let's make it what we want it to be. And Lester has told me to do whatever I want, okay? We're going to get that in quotes. Whatever I want with anything behind the greenhouse, with the side of the greenhouse. Yes, friends, all the way down to the ditch. All the way to the front of the barn. We're not going to talk about the trash burn pile here. This used to be an old stump that had bricks around it. And we're going to get this all cleaned up. Oh, look at him on his little bitty baby tractor. Excuse me, my hour. We'll just call it our little bitty baby tractor. It's feed up time. But he told me I could go as far as the front of this barn if I'm going to fence things in. So I have some thoughts. We're allowed to use this too, but this will be more about orchard than garden. So, again, you have to ignore my pile of junk, okay? We're going to fix that. But, all right. So, first things first, side of the greenhouse. Here's my vision. And hear me out, and you can give me feedback for it as well. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go all the way to the end of the greenhouse or stop here. But either way, first of all, this is clay. And this clay was brought in when we did the pond. There were a lot of weird drainagey paths up here. And this was also full of trees and brush. And you couldn't even see this backside. So we brought in the clay because we redug out the pond. And we put it up here so that we could try to level things out for the greenhouse. And here we are. It's a pretty good slope. You may not be able to tell that. We can't truly disrupt how water flows here. But if you remember last year, Survivor Spring was created when we pumped from the river. That's this path of rock right here. So actually, this is where that's where the river flows whenever it rains. You can see a little bit better here about how this slopes down. So here's my thought. I think, obviously we got to bring in topsoil. That's a no-brainer. But what if we came off the back of the greenhouse here and I made steps that were not for walking, but for planting. So essentially, I don't know what they call that, but they do it on hillsides where they grow, step down, grow, step down. I think I would do it with wood. So some 4x4s that would come out. I need to be able to stand on a pathway. We're not going to judge my winter clothes. Stand on a pathway and be able to reach all of the parts, whether it's by kneeling on the edge or leaning over. So it can't probably be more than like 3.5 foot wide. And basically, I think that if we did 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, maybe 4 stair steps down with a pathway in the middle as well to where I can get to both sides. That maybe, but see that's, I need your input. Basically what I want is an in-ground garden that goes from the back side of here to about this side of the bucket. And it's going to take some maneuvering there so that things don't just wash away. And that's why I was thinking about building the wood boxes and to hold dirt in and to truly create my layers up top. And then over here, we can till and go all the way to the end of the barn and have probably, I'm going to say 5 rows wide that will be more profound from the front of the greenhouse as far as being in ground without those stair step things. The stair step things on the side over here are, as I mentioned, to hold in the dirt, also to be pretty, of course, but here would be in ground, much like Stephanie and Buddy's at the Denman Homestead, where with the weed barrier, with the sprinkler, drip irrigation system put in, all of that. I think this building is 30 foot long. Maybe it's 30 foot long. So my rows would be, if I go all the way back to the back of that greenhouse there, for like 3 of them and have 2 shorties up front, I would probably have 3 50-foots, 2 30-foot rows. That's pretty good. And then those beds up there, which they would be kind of like raised beds on this side, that start probably, I'm thinking I'm going to have to start at the end of the greenhouse here and go over. And maybe that'll be 3 or 4 steps down by the time that we get down to where it's ground level. Now, here's the big part. Lester doesn't know about this part yet. I would really like to have some sort of waterscape. Yeah, I know. Now I'm getting a little crazy here and stepping into the landscaping space. But if there was some sort of waterscape that had like, a little babbling brook here, maybe some koi fish in it. I also know that I will have some boxer fish that go in it, which is fine. But maybe a little waterscape that ends up here so that this can be more like flowers and things on top, and then we can get down to vegetables in the bottom, and then my actual rows in the ground will be the vegetable and fruit garden. Okay? Give me your feedback on that and what you think about it, especially about the tiers, and then do I just do this front part of landscaping and then before I go on to the orchard part. Hi Ritzy girl. Hi sweetie. Before I go on to the orchard part, I'm going to think through this side as well, because this year I had leftover zinnia seeds, so I tossed them along here just so I would have some color, because I didn't want the seeds to go to waste. Look at how pretty they are still. I think that I need a raised bed over here on the outside as well, or something. Those cinder blocks have to move, but this is the south side, so it gets the most sun by far. And I think that it would be really pretty if I could build a box off of here. Maybe it only comes up to this board and then comes out, I don't know, 2.5 foot. Fill it with dirt, and then I have a whole raised bed over here to grow things that's up off the ground, but also add some beauty to it. I could get real fancy and roll it into some landscaping up here too and come around the front, but that's like phase 5, right, Trixie girl? That's a long ways away. But I just, I find peace here. And the design and the work and all that goes into it, there's no rush for me to do it, but I'm excited about it. For one, I want to have a giant garden. I want to be able to grow things like potatoes and corn and other vegetables that Lester loves too. And I'm kind of limited with my tiny raised bed. So, hoping to be able to utilize this space that's from the barn back. Now, as far as this giant open space, the only thing that Lester uses is the rocked part. I would like to add fruit trees in an orchard fashion, fruit and nut trees along here. I would start about 10 foot off of that fence line and 10 foot off of that fence line this year. Long term, I would really like to have rows out here that are about 20 foot apart. So we would be looking at probably 4 rows here of trees. So, and about maybe only 3 deep here. So if you can imagine a fruit orchard out here and then a garden over here, plus a little waterscape thing and raised bed over there, I think it's going to turn out great. And let's get Lester to confirm that I am right. Let's get him to give his input here. He's finishing up some chores, just got back from the JL ranch as well. Babe, you told me that I could do what I want with this area as long as you could mow around it, right?
Like what area?
From the barn back. As long as you could keep your drive through the gate and as long as you can mow around it, correct?
Yeah, so I have to move my burn pile, which is fine. But from the corner of the garage back to
to the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? This is great. It's going to be so great. I have it all planned out. Are you excited?
No. Because you got it all planned out, but a lot of the labor comes on my end.
I know. It's every husband's
do it now in the heat of the summer, though.
Every Pinterest husband's nightmare is when their wife walks out and says, "I have an idea." It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great.
Y'all.
Oh my God! What is she doing?
Happy.
It's gonna be a good day.